There was an expedition from the UK nearly 100 years ago, led by Professor Leeson, an entomologist, and he and a small crew flew into East Africa in 1936. Then they spent about a year with an old rickety car collecting mosquitoes, describing them, and drawing pictures of all the different kinds of mosquitoes. It's very hard to diagnose a species just by looking at the mosquitoes. You can see in their notebooks they're a bit confused about what they are and are they transmitting malaria. We have exactly the same questions now. We just have a better way of getting the right answer using DNA. Technology has moved incredibly quickly over the decades. The ability to extract DNA from mosquitoes allows us to see at unprecedented resolution what is actually going on in those genomes. We get a much better view of exactly how these mosquitoes are behaving in space and time. And we are constantly saying, oh, if only we could look in the past and understand how have they been changing, but also to understand what's coming in the future. How fast can these things evolve? And it suddenly struck me, there are museums all over the world that have mosquitoes from 100 years ago, well before people started using insecticides to control them.
It's really hard for us to visualize how big the collection is. Ta-da! Although this is only a little bit of it. Okay, this is about 34 million specimens.
So we really want to know, what did those mosquitoes look like genetically? How have these species changed in their genomes as we have launched everything we can at them to kill them? Fortunately, we've managed to gain access to Leeson's collection, which is housed now at the Natural History Museum in London. We've been looking back in time at these mosquitoes genomically for the first time. You have to very carefully image it so that you know what it looked like before removal of its DNA. Then it goes into a rehydrator so that we moisten it up a little bit before we're about to put it into a liquid to release its DNA. Let's go for this one first. And then it gets removed and it goes through this process that we call critical point drying technically, but we like to refer to it as refluffing.
And then we just plonk it in.
A mosquito genome actually has 250 million A's, C's, T's, and G's. So what we've been doing is looking particularly at places in the genome that we know are important for insecticide resistance. These mosquitoes, although they're only collected 100 years ago, they are actually quite genetically distant from what the current mosquitoes are, because many, many generations have happened in the course of the 100 years since they were collected. It's really bringing new life to these collections because we're able to look at these samples in ways that have been not possible before. Malaria is an incredibly difficult problem. The parasite that causes it is a really complicated organism itself, and the mosquitoes that can transmit it are also really complicated. The more we understand about the genetic complexity of parasites and mosquitoes, the better chance we have of developing tools that will actually work to eradicate malaria.